Today, there is no editor. Guy goes in the field, he immediately puts it on Twitter, he puts it on Facebook, he puts it on the online version.
Telling our news today.
And it's there, and it can't be undone. You know, there's an old expression, there is no education in the second kick of a mule. And there's really a lot of truth in that. So after the first kick of the mule, I should have known better. But let me give an example. There was a guy who covered me for probably 20-something years, and he wrote maybe hundreds, if not thousands of inches of print about me and campaigns and when I was governor. To this day, I have no idea whether he likes me or not. I don't know whether he voted for me.
My goodness.
Wow.
And here's what I've said to people. That is a journalist. I have no idea. You know, sometimes he wrote stories I really liked. Sometimes he wrote stories I did not like, but he told the truth. I deserved what he said. Because when he quoted me accurately. It's just that I said something stupid, and he was there to capture it. I can't blame him for that. I owned the dumb thing I said. My point being, a good journalist tells the story, but the object of the story doesn't really detect whether the person has a point of view that says, I love this guy, I'm going to puff him up, or I hate this guy, I'm going to beat him up. And I think that's what we're missing. And classic journalism that I, grew up with, and when I worked in radio in the 60s and dealt with all that stuff, there were two qualities that you look for in a journalist. One was curiosity, the other was cynicism. A healthy cynicism. Curiosity to say, I really want to know what's going on out there, and I'm going to keep digging until I find out what's really going on, and I'm going to get to the bottom of it. I'm not going to take what somebody said happened. I'm going to find out what happened. And the other is cynicism. Just because 4 people told me that this is true, I don't buy it unless I can prove it to myself. We don't have people today very much, and I think Centerpoint, hopefully, what we will be able to say with people is this: there's going to be curiosity, and there's going to be a healthy cynicism that doesn't just take at face value what someone says, because that's dangerous. And Belinda, to your point, which I thought was wonderful, we need people to be their own editors. They need to say, well, how do I know that's true? And we don't have enough of that today, where there's that sense of skepticism. Because it used to be, if a story was originated and the reporter said, here's my story, there was a city editor, a copy editor, probably a managing editor and a publisher that all would look at that and say, where'd you get this story? What are your sources? How many sources have you got? Who are they? You may not print the sources and tell everybody who they were, but by gosh, you had them, or it didn't run. Today, there is no editor. Guy goes in the field, he immediately puts it on Twitter, he puts it on Facebook, he puts it on the online version.
Telling our news today.
And it's there. And it can't be undone. Quite frankly, when we talk about individual liberties as citizens, we need to realize that the biblical parallel is that we are individually responsible to God. There is no group plan. I can't say, I think I'm going to go to heaven because my family all, they're believers. I am personally responsible for my sins before God, accountability, and my faith is personal. It's not joint. I can't say, we're all together in this, because individually, that's where our liberty comes from. That is such a powerful thing Doug just said, but that is exactly how faith works. It's individual.
All by myself.
Nobody can believe for me. Nobody can repent for me. When I see people saying, I'm repenting of my ancestors' sins, I want to say, get up off your knees, quit making a fool of yourself. You're not doing that, because you can't. You can only repent of your own sins. You can only come to faith personally. You can't do it for somebody else. And that's so powerful. America was built on that notion that the power of the individual, whether it's in our faith world or it's in our civic world, it's also what gives us hope. Belinda loves hope, and I do too, and I think that's the genius of what the Bible message is. Don't say, I can't because somebody else. No, you can because God. My connection is not somebody else holding me back. My connection is God, through whom all things are possible.